Okay, welcome Great Basin College advisors. So over the last few weeks, we've asked students to submit questions to throw at you. We're going to pick on the Director of Advising first with a question. Where are you? All right, Jennifer. How can I succeed in college?
By meeting with your advisor. There's a lot of things you can do to succeed in college. Always make sure you meet with your academic advisor to help you get scheduled with your classes. If you need help finding resources, you want to make sure that you're making friends, joining clubs. Chantel on this call, she can get you hooked up with some clubs. But you also want to make sure that you're actively, participating in class and working with your instructors.
Perfect, thanks. So the next one's for you, Jessica. What is it like to be a student at GBC? What's one major thing I should look forward to?
So being a former student of Great Basin College, Great Basin College is unique because we serve all these rural small communities. And one thing you can look forward to is one-on-one with your instructors and being in small class cohorts and creating friendships that last a lifetime.
Perfect. Okay, Hank, I'm coming to you, right in the center. It's hard to decide a major. Do you have any advice when it comes to choosing?
Ooh, oh boy, wow. That's a great question there. We actually have on our Great Basin College website, we actually have a career assessment where you can take a quiz to find what are some interests that you have, and then those interests can then be kind of driving you towards those careers. But I mean, I would definitely talk to an academic advisor as well. Our job is to really feel out what are some great careers for your future and something that you'll kind of love for the rest of your life. So
perfect. Okay, Fallon, is there a limit to the number of times I can change my major?
Not that I am aware of. However, I would suggest you don't do it too many times because each major has its own general education as well as its own program requirements. And sometimes those general ed requirements can differ depending on if you're doing an Associate of Arts versus Associate of Applied Science. So, of course, you're not set in stone and, stuck, so to speak, but it's not advisable that, you jump around a lot. So it's definitely part of the reason, like Hank said, take that career assessment, talk to us. But the biggest thing is, what is your passion? Study your passion. And if you really love it, you can always use those skills for something else.
Thanks. Okay, Chantel, to you. This has got a twist on the end. That's why we picked you. Okay. What academic goals should I set for myself?
That's a tough one.
It's a two-parter.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to answer the first part first?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's important to always set goals, but especially in your academic journey, I think you want to set goals where you're thinking about the end in mind. So, what do I want to get out of my college experience? How long do I want this experience to take me? What is the end goal? What career am I interested in pursuing at the very end? So it's important to remember that the journey is a process and experience, but also set goals that are mindful of what you want your future to look like.
And then the second part was, how about my dating goals?
Dating?
That's the question.
Well, that caught me off guard. I think it's important that you get out there, you meet new people, maybe rather than considering, like your dating potential, get out there, try new things, meet new people, experience different groups of people, a variety of personalities from different backgrounds, and find out You know, not only what do you like in friends, but maybe as a potential partner. So I would just say go into it with an open mind. Anything is possible.
And stay 6 feet apart.
Yes. Hand sanitizer.
Yes. Okay, Todd, I'm coming to you. It's my senior year. And I'm just wondering, when do I choose my major?
Well, freshman year's nice, but life happens, right? And sometimes life is a journey, and it's like a winding river, and a straight river is not always a beautiful river. So those twists and turns and what's around the bend is exciting. Like Fallon said, though, it is hard. There's sometimes loss of credits. It's not easy to do, but sometimes there's something that happens. You might be an education major and then you take a geology class and you go into it thinking, I just need to fill out this science requirement. And then something happens and you're hit over the head and that passion strikes, like Fallon said. So when that passion strikes, you do have to follow it, but it is good to meet with an advisor. That's a big theme today. Hank had said that earlier too. Meet with an advisor and see how realistic it is. And you're always balancing realism and passion. I tend to be the type of person that passion wins out, but you have to look at a lot of factors in your life to decide what's going to win out in your case. Sooner the better, but then again, if you're 40 years old and you've been working in a job that you're not happy with, it's better to make that switch before you start working in that job.
True. Thank you. Okay, Lisa. Can I be the school's mascot? Because I have my own bighorn sheep costume.
Wow, that's an exciting question. You know, I didn't expect that one either, but so that's not something that a lot of students know, is that we do have a mascot. So that is very exciting. So I would even, in fact, pass that over to Chantel as a great opportunity for student life, student experience. So I think that that is not something I've seen in my 20 plus years at GBC, but I think if there's an opportunity to put on a great costume and especially when you're staying 6 feet apart inside your costume, that might be a great sanitizing moment. But it might be a little hot to wear to your classes all the time. So I would say, I think the one great thing I would take away from that is GBC has always been a great place for students to come with student ideas. I think many of the things we do involve student input and the excitement that they have. So I would say, that's not outside of our realm of possibilities.
Perfect. So on this one, I want to ask a question. Does anyone play video games? Mario Brothers? Anyone? Thank you. Okay, Hank, I'm picking on you, even if it's just a little bit.
Yep.
If ABC was a video game, which one would it be?
I'm sorry, say that one more time, Jennifer. I didn't quite hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. If GBC was a video game, which video game would it be?
Well, I guess I would have to go with a somewhat of an RPG type one. So it's a role-playing game, choose your own adventure story, that type of style. I mean, what Todd is saying, it's an adventure. Everything is like just a river. Things can change though, right? When these RPG games, you can like multi-class sometimes you have to choose a certain class, but then it gets a little more harder to choose like something different. So I would say that's what GBC and just college in general is. It's a lot of opportunity, a lot of fun, a lot of interesting side quests that you can get into while you can still accomplish that end goal by beating the game or getting your degree.
Well said. Good job. Lisa, I'm going to come back to you because you've been with GBC for a little bit. So this might be a good one for you. What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen happen on campus?
Well, that's something I definitely can't share with you today. And I have numerous examples of those. So I'm gonna, because we did, as we started out, say that this was PG. so there are, there are numerous things up here that I cannot share, that all came to great resolution. But there are those things. But let me see the worded thing. I think, one of the things, I guess it was like a point of, I was thinking about this and something that came to mind, and it happens numerous times, and it kind of goes back to graduation. That end goal is, numerous times students say, okay, I'm done with all my requirements. Where's my diploma? And so it's like, did you apply for graduation? And they say, no, I didn't know I need to do that. And so I think that's a lot of times at the end of the end of their time, that's something that they're so excited about. But something that kind of comes to mind for us is like, oh, that's natural. We should know the process but that's not always the case for students. So that is just something I keep in mind with students. There's no silly questions, things that we might think are okay over time, that's just natural, that may not be for one student to the next. So having said that, I would say, just like I said, that we're like Publishers Clearinghouse. We may not show up at your door, but like graduation, that's an application that you have to turn in to get that end result in a diploma.
Thanks. So Jessica, I'm going to come back. How long can I park on campus with an RV consecutively without being towed? And I am asking for a friend.
I'm guessing probably maybe one night if you're lucky, but I wouldn't think you would make it long with our campus security. So I would just recommend one night and moving on.
Perfect, thanks.
You can always
Okay,
go
Fallon.
to our parking lot afterwards.
Yeah. Good call. Good call. Hey, Fallon, where are you going for?
I heard, where are you going? What was the rest of the question? Sorry.
So the question is, where are you going for your Christmas break? And can I come with you?
I'm probably just going to be here in Oco, or at the Max San Antonio. So sorry, guys, not that interesting of a Christmas travel.
Okay, Todd, I'm coming back to you. Do you offer a roommate breakup hotline service?
Officially, no. Unofficially, yes. As advisors, if you come to us, we are always empathetic, and we may not be experts in things like that, even though I've been broken up with. By the way, the social distance, Chantel, I had no problem in college with 6 feet social distancing because girls wouldn't come within 6 feet of me. But as advisors, yes, we are not trained counselors, but we help. We know resources in town for more severe types of topics. There's definitely resources out there, and we'll help you find those resources. But we'll lend a listening ear, and we do always want to make sure that we're here for you to help you reach your academic goals, and personal, emotional things in life do impact academics.
Thanks, Todd. All right, Chantel, coming back up to you. Do you offer a final exam get out of jail free card?
Oh, if only. I wish. I think we all wish that there was something like that when all of us went through college. Not to my knowledge do we have one, but I don't think anything's off the table if you're persuasive enough with your instructors.
Creativity is key.
All right, so this last question is for everyone to answer. We'll start with Jennifer Brown. What's the one piece of advice you can give me as an incoming student?
Show up. You have to be here in order to get something out of it. Show up. And I know that looks a little bit different in today's world with COVID and a lot of things moving online or Zoom, just actively show up and participate. It gets easier if you're a first-time college student. It does get easier, but we're here to help you. So my advice is just show up.
All right, Chantel.
So one of my favorite quotes is courage over comfort. And so when you're starting something new, or, it's your second or third year, your fourth year, my best piece of advice is just to put yourself outside of your box. Once a day or once a week, try something new, say hi to someone new, whether that's in person or, virtually, but expand your horizons by making yourself uncomfortable. Like I said, try something new, meet new people. This experience of college, no matter what your age, if it's your first time, if you're coming back, if you're right out of high school, if you're a parent, this experience is yours, and we want you to make the best possible, and we're all here to help you.
Thanks. Jessica?
I think the number one thing I would share with you is just check your email and make sure you communicate. Your instructors are communicating with you through email, and financial aid's communicating with you through email. There's so many things coming at you through email, and it's really important that you check that and communicate with those around you.
Thanks. I'll move on to Hank.
All right. I would say don't be scared to ask for help or seek help. I would have to say that we can't help somebody that's struggling if we don't know about it, right? Come and talk to us. As an advisor, I honestly chose to be an advisor so I can help people. And if I'm not helping someone every day, I don't feel fulfilled. So can you just help me feel good about myself, please? Just call.
That's awesome. How about you, Fallon?
So I guess I have kind of one piece of advice that leads into a second piece of advice. And that first one would be organization. I know that it probably sounds like your mom's giving you advice, but we live in a world of technology. Use your phone, use your iPad, use your computer. If you are a paper and pen person, get a planner. But you definitely need to put out your homework, especially if you're online, because you're not going to be in a lecture, twice a week or once a week or whatever it is. So you need to plan out your readings, you need to plan out your viewings, and you need to plan out getting your discussions done and your homework assignments done. But at the same time, there's a balance. And this is the second part. Take, if it's an hour, a couple hours, or an evening each week for you, or you with your family, or whatever it is. Because if you don't, you're going to burn out. And so I say that as someone who is currently going through school as well, that it is so beneficial to take that moment to just breathe. But how can you do it? You can do it by being organized to know that you've done everything to the point of having those couple of hours.
How about you, Miss Lisa?
Everybody's stealing all my answers, but I think they're all great. So I was, as I was starting with those, I was like, yeah, that's it. But I was going to start out with, that as a first-time student that's new, sometimes making this transition is very easy for some, and sometimes it is difficult for others. And with COVID, that amplifies, everybody has different learning style and anxiety and that sort of thing. And so sometimes maybe this year it's compounded. And I would say, the one advice, I would say is stick with it. Stick with it, be engaged, because the end is truly worth it. And when, times are tough, dig deep and persevere, continue on. And I think that's really important, and reach out. So, there are times when when I interact with individuals, that first semester's hard, 6 weeks in, that, you know, you're questioning, why am I here? Is this for me? And you know, going through that and having people to talk to and digging deep and moving on and continuing on. I just would really encourage to, you know, stick with it, because like I said, the end is truly worth it. And I think everybody here in their little boxes can attest to that, because that's a journey we've all been on. And so I, you know, reflecting back from my experience in college a few decades ago, but, you know, lifelong learning, but, you know, so that's what I would say is, you know, dig deep, persevere, and continue on.
Thank you. And you, Todd?
Well, some of the good answers did get taken. I love the email comment. Email, email, email. I love the ask, ask, ask. No question is too small. I personally was a first generation college student. There were so many things my family didn't know, so many things I didn't know about college, and you don't know unless you ask. Now in high school, your teachers will sometimes fill in the blanks for you, and they will tell you, but the college level, often you have to ask, ask, ask. And then I was also thinking about the world we live in and tough times that we live in. And, you know, there's a lot of negative noise out there in the world. Our loved ones sometimes protect us, but there's negative noise there. There's negative thoughts in our own heads. We all have doubts. That's human nature. So I came back to my background. Just a note, I did persevere and I did get married. I found a woman who would come within 6 feet of me most days. And I did persevere and I did make it through college myself. And so I talked about that journey and that winding river. My first career was an elementary school teacher. And so one of my favorite poems is a Shel Silverstein poems, and it's the woulda, coulda, shoulda. So I'll do it real quick. All the woulda, coulda, shouldas laying in the sun, talking about the things they woulda, coulda, shoulda done. But those woulda, coulda, shouldas all ran away and hid from the one little did. So I know you can do this. I know that you want this. And so many times we talk about, I could have done this, I should have done this. So, you know, keeping it PG, but please don't should on yourself. I said should. Don't should on yourself, because you can do this.
That's perfect. So Jennifer Brown, in wrapping up, how do they contact their advisor? We only have a couple weeks left before classes start.
So you can definitely reach out to the advising team at each campus. Our contact information is on our webpage. So if you go to gbcnv.edu/advisement, you can find our contact information there. Email address, advisor@gbcnv.edu. Or you can feel free to call. I know the Elko campus number is 775-753-2180. We can answer and get you scheduled with an appointment from anybody from any of our centers. So, you know, we're here for everyone. You know, we're working remotely, but we're still answering the phone. And I'm just excited to see everyone coming back for this fall and being able to assist everyone.
Well, thank you, everybody, for taking time to visit with us, and we will share your answers. Have a good night.